Hey, this is Kenny with Welsh Hormone Optimization. Today we're bringing you a shoulder training video. You can see here starting out with dumbbell shoulder presses, super light, come down to about 90 degrees, press up, and like an arching motion. That's the best way I can think of it. It squeezes your front delt better. So this is a super light warm-up set. Big about warming up the shoulders, pecs, back, legs, anything. Alright, next set, bump the weight up a little bit. This is called progressive overload, increasing weight as your sets progress. Creates more muscle building effect. You can see elbows come down to about 90, maybe a little deeper, still in that strong arching motion, pressing all the way up to the top. There's no bouncing, there's no cheating going on. This is full control. In this exercise, front delt dominant exercise. This is a mass builder. So with shoulders, this is about, this is the bench press of shoulder exercises. This is where the mass comes in. So you can push the limits here and get pretty heavy there. You can see that set there. These are 100-pound dumbbells, pretty heavy. People go heavier, obviously. And to have a spotter there. It's good to have a spotter to, kind of allow you to feel safe when you're pushing the limits with strength. So still keeping good form. Never, ever, ever sacrifice form for weight. That's called ego lifting. So here you can see this exercise is a side delt exercise. It works this lateral head of the shoulder, your side muscle of your shoulder. And this is a good exercise because when you're leaning sideways like this, gravity kind of allows you to get a longer range of tension, whereas if you're standing up, it would kind of drop off. You'll see in a later exercise we just do standing lateral raises, but this is a good variation. And you can do them really light, like right there you see I'm only using, for my last set there, a 17-pound dumbbell, I think. So just full range. And I bring them down kind of right behind my butt, up, twist the elbow upward, like your pinky upward, like you're pouring out a glass. And that it just focuses super hard on the side delt, which gives you, a big round side delt. These are standing lateral raises. Works the same head of the muscle, just a different, variation of it. I start super light, but you always want good form. You can see I have one foot in front of the other. That just gives me a little bit of stability so I can lean forward just a hair to put more pressure on my side delt, rather than you see people kind of hooking them backward, and that's wrong because it's working the front delt more. So this is how you keep it on the side. Look at yourself in the mirror, and if you can see your side delts kind of pop. My sleeves are covering my shoulders here, but another set. I should hike them up a little bit. Elbow is always the highest point, Strong wrist. Don't let your wrists get all limp and floppy. And they're still lightweight. These don't take heavy weight. You see people in the gym, guys especially, that are grabbing the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and they're just hucking them, they're bouncing, they're dropping their knees, using momentum, but side delts don't care, about your ego. They care about tension, they care about being worked properly, and that is only done by strict form. Like, what are those there? Those are 20-pound dumbbells. And that's one of my further sets in, so, that's a third or fourth set. You can see them contracting there. See, separating from the rear delt. On the later sets, to get more, recruit more cells, just to cram more blood in there, that's a heavy set. So I'm kind of hucking there. But on the last ones, you saw I sped up a little bit. Form got it slightly sloppier, but that was just to push, more in, recruiting more fibers, more blood, but only in the later sets. That's after, several sets of very strict form. So we're moving on to rear delts. These are rear delt flies. I sit on a bench, put my knees about 90 degrees, and you're doing the same motion as a lateral raise, but since you're leaning forward, gravity just pushes the tension, more onto your rear delt. A lot of people doing these try and they start too heavy and they don't feel it. They're kind of just rowing and working your back more or your triceps instead of your rear delt. But you can see right there the contraction, the separation in the rear delt. And you can see that I'm strictly just working the rear delt. And a lot of people lack rear delt. You'll see people's physiques, you know, guys have big chests, big front delts, big shoulders, and then it just looks like they fall off in the back or they're hunching forward. And that's because they lack rear delt development, and that is not a proportionate physique, you know what I mean? But anybody should be doing these, guys, girls, you should have a complete physique, period. So there, just a different angle, still. Rear delts. For some reason, my rear delts are super strong, they always have been. So I do them a little bit heavier, but it's still just controlled. So most people don't usually use whatever those are, you know, 35, 40, something like that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're using. It doesn't matter how much weight you're using. If it's doing the job properly, if it's hard, if it's pushing you into failure, then that's what you need to be using personally. Here's another rear delt variation. This is on the seated rows, okay? So that's a rope, and you're just pulling up, back, squeezing the rear delt. You're not trying to use your lats. You're not trying to tug with your biceps. You're pulling as if you're elbowing behind you. That's how you work rear delts. Like you're trying to elbow somebody behind you. And this is just another variation of, you don't have to do all of these exercises. And honestly, a pretty standard shoulder workout, I just do, you know, the front dumbbell presses, side lateral raises, and then the bent over rear dumbbell flies. If you are doing, you know, 4 or 5 sets and pushing hard, it's adequate. But it's not a lot of, you know, a lot of people like to work out longer, do more sets, higher volume. So I'm trying to just give you some more variations. Just big squeezes, and you can see I'm getting weaker and weaker. Okay, another rear delt variation. On like the reverse pec deck. This machine was actually strictly made for rear delts and rhomboid area. I use them a little bit different to where my hands are on the top because I feel like it gives a better contraction for my rear delt rather than holding the handle. I feel kind of works your mid traps better, but this, for me, feels more rear delt dominant. Just big squeeze. And I'm pausing there, you can see. I try to keep tension the whole entire time, but on these, that's really heavy, and that machine is sticky, so I'm dropping. And that is it. Shoulders.